Welcome to Geek Speak Live.
Hey, Geek Speakers! Welcome to the show. It is Friday Night Live. I'm your host, Todd Bailey. Joining me in the hot seat
Right,
tonight.
cops, and I'm the pots and pans.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm really upset, folks. Right? Really upset with this fella here
What
because
did I do wrong?
I shaved last night, made myself look pretty for you. Not a fucking single comment. I even sat here before doing the whole
Look,
like this.
it's very smooth.
And all he did, he looked at me and he went, "Oh, by the way, dude, your beard's a bit messy." He's like, "Fuck you, pal! This is the last time I get all dressed up for you." How are you, big fella?
Good, mate. How's your week?
It's been fucking long. I've had a work experience, kidding.
Yeah?
Yeah, luckily he's my nephew. And so I could actually swear in front of him, and there was quite a few times I was like, fuck. And then I look at him and go, "You shouldn't say that in the workplace." He's 16 and a bit, so he's fine. He swears like a trooper.
Were you able to use him to as slave labour within the shop?
Mate, the shop has never been this fucking clean. Everything. The front window, we had him out there on a ladder doing the... Well, when I say ladder, responsibly, I was holding the ladder. But yeah, he cleaned all the front of the shop, cleaned all inside the shop.
Oh,
mate,
good.
This fella here sat here last night when we had a little meeting, you and I. I'm going to call him a pre-production meeting. Right?
I'm really worried about where this is going, because I said a lot of things.
Ginge looks around the shop and goes, "You should get him to do the skirting board around the edge." So today I went, "Fucking good idea." So that's what he did today, Ginge. I said, "You can blame Uncle Ginge for that."
G'day to Laura, Danny, Scott, watching at home.
Hello!
Leanne.
How are we all? I'm going to do something, a little shout out to my wife for something sweet and special later in the show. We'll talk about that towards the end. Scott says, "Maybe you left some donut crumbs in the beard catcher, Todd." He didn't want to say anything. Ooh. No, I tell you what, we just had, Scott, which we had to both clean our beards out. We just have, Ginge, tell the folks at home.
Yes, Burger Urge is doing a special burger for this month. And it's called the Sizzler
The
Burger.
Sizzler. And the logo is the same as the Sizzler logo. And it's cheese toast.
Yeah.
Is the bun.
With it, just like a chicken burger, bacon,
Just
aioli.
like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy. No, it's...
Slap some cheese toast on the top and bottom and blam!
Bam,
Or
not-
blickety blam!
Blickety blam, and my arteries went...
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. We'll upload a photo later on so you can see what it looked like. But hey, it tasted pretty good.
Not too bad, not too shabby at all. So later on, if you hear the sound of a siren later on, one of us has had a coronary, probably this guy here, and but yeah, that's we had to wipe the beards clean from all that because it was saucy. Much like what I say about the big fella here. I'm like, "Oh, it's very saucy."
G'day to Jono watching at home. How are you, man?
Speaking of saucy, Jono joins in. How are you? And his lovely lady Leanne. Hello, Leanne. Long time no see. We need to catch up soon. We've got to, now that everything's starting to open back up.
Yes.
After COVID, we all shall have to start catching up with some people and having some. I'm doing this. It means drink your pearl. I'm actually on the water tonight, Jim.
It's not straight vodka.
No, it's pure fucking spring water. Once again, I just ate that.
More expensive.
This is more expensive than vodka. I'm trying to flush the burger through the system. So, what else have you got for me?
Righto, let's start off with a little bit of news. HBO
Yes,
wants Affleck back as
So,
Batman.
Don't we all want Ben Affleck back as Batfleck? I know I fucking do.
They want him back in the cowl, and they want him back in the director's seat. With all the Snyder news that's happening, HBO Max want him to bring his original script back that he was going to do for The Batman.
As a movie or more as a series?
Now, it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a standalone movie,
Yep.
or it's going to be a miniseries.
Oh, you know what? I don't care how it comes. Movie, miniseries, I want it. I just want it. I want to see him. I want to see J.K. Simmons back as Commissioner Gordon. Because I think we didn't get to see enough of him.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to see some cool, like, what's his name? The guy out of, is it Magic Mike? Joe
Manganiello?
I swear, hand on heart, I've never seen Magic Mike. I've seen bits of it with the wife, but I've never actually watched all of Magic Mike, okay? And I mean that, I'm serious.
Bring back his Deathstroke character.
Yeah.
Apparently, Arkham Asylum was to feature very heavy in the script that Affleck had put together.
Yep.
But there is one name that I'm a little bit about.
Don't say Seth Rogen, because if it is, I'm just going to shoot myself now.
No, they want the Joker in this film. And they want the Leto Joker.
Oh, no.
They want the Suicide Squad Joker.
Ah, fuck that right off.
Look,
I don't know.
but if it meant Affleck back, I would take it. I mean, hang on. I didn't mean it that way.
Hey, and I'm the guy who likes Ben Affleck the most, apparently, but someone will take it. That's history there, Jim. Right, someone out there is recording this right now and going, I'm going to put that away for when Mr. Wade Copson runs for Senate.
Yes. Scott's just said something about the Batman Affleck.
Here we go. Scott said, I want it too. Are we talking about Ben Affleck back, or you just want Ben Affleck, Scott? Because you know what? I'm getting a bit jealous of all you guys. I want him producing. I want him acting. I want him Affleck. Scott, you dirty, dirty boy.
I want him directing. Yes. Yeah, I bring him back in the director's seat.
He's
and
the
in the
man who directed the Academy Award-winning Argo. I mean, what more can we say?
It was a great movie.
I fucking love that
really
movie.
good movie.
The Accountant. We said the other week we'd go back and watch The Accountant.
Yes.
That was good.
I would love to see a sequel to The Accountant.
Yes, and you could. That was set up to bring it back.
That could be. You could bring back him as many times as they've done with Fast and Furious.
Yeah, easily. There's a franchise waiting to happen. Right there. I like that idea.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Possibility, HBO saying Ben Affleck back as the Bat.
Yes.
Yes, please. What else you got?
Some more Bat news.
Ooh.
And we brought you the news that Ruby Rose has gone to Batwoman.
Oh, let's all shed a fake tear for that, because who gives a shit?
Now, she was playing Kate Kane.
Yes, she was.
Who is Batwoman in the comics.
You blew my mind this week when you sent me this bit of news.
Yeah.
They're talking about, they're not actually going to just recast the role. They're putting a new character in the role of Batwoman.
Yes.
Now, this is what you've thrown me for a loop, because it's meant to be an actor from the LGBTIQ times 10 group, right? So they're saying they want a female actor, though. That is what they did say. And Stephanie Beatrix from Brooklyn Nine-Nine has gone, I really want this role. There was her and a wrestler a female wrestler vying for the role. But then you said this character name, and it threw me for a loop.
The character name they're saying is Ryan Wilder. Ryan.
Which is traditionally a male name.
But then they go on to describe the character as a woman in her mid-20s.
Right.
As a character who's been dodging the GCPD, she's been a drug runner. She's run this, that.
To my knowledge, and I stand corrected. Like, tell me if you've read a book where I don't know this character. I don't know whether she's actually been in the comics or whether CW does Batwoman, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Whether the CW has grabbed this and gone, we're going to create a brand spanking new character just for the TV series. Either way. I don't know whether it's enough to keep someone or get me back to watch it. You know, I said I watched the first episode, and my darling wife just went, "Turn that off. That's crap." So we finished it and didn't go back to it. So
it's just interesting that she only lasted one season. Scott said something about Batman and Affleck.
Scott says, "Hey, after seeing BVS Ultimate Edition, I would love to see the Suicide Squad director's cut. Maybe the Joker will become likable, just like the characters in BVS did." Now, David,
Yes.
is calling, and there's a strong sense that Warner Brothers, HBO, AT&T, the big parent company, will probably go, you know what, throw some money at it, because he reckons he doesn't need as much money. He's pretty much in the can. He just needs a few little things, and he's got to go back and just recut the flow of the film. Yeah. He reckons the same thing. He's got tons that would totally change the perception of Suicide Squad. So
ultimately, watching Suicide Squad in cinemas, it felt very jumpy and jarry. The editing of it wasn't.
I've watched it once. I've not gone back and watched it again. I probably need to.
Yeah.
Because I have not watched Birds of Prey yet. And I think Jono, correct me, Jono, if I'm wrong, but you and I were speaking about that. You've seen it. I haven't yet. And I probably need to sit down and give it a watch. I'm so reluctant because I've heard so many bad things, especially from people who are fans of the actual Birds of Prey characters from the comics. And they're saying characters like Cassandra Cain are nothing like what she is in the comics.
Absolutely not.
You've seen it?
I've seen it, yeah. I sat down and made myself watch it about 2 weeks ago.
And?
Look, I'm disappointed that the characters were kind of...
Is it all Harley Quinn?
It pretty much is. Huntress is amazing. I would have loved to have seen so much of her... more of her in the movie.
And they didn't do it.
But she was kind of wasted. A lot of the characters were very much wasted. The Birds of Prey come together in like the last 20 seconds.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
Hey, get this. This is the Birds of Prey.
Dun, dun.
Credits.
Ah, no. You know, see, this is what's holding me back from watching it. Because, like, I don't know about you, but life is too short to waste time watching crappy movies if you're not going to...
And when was Montoya ever part of Birds of Prey?
I don't think she ever. Renee Montoya. She was always a detective. She
Yeah.
was in.
Yeah.
I mean, she in the comics had a love relationship with Katie Kane, Batwoman. So they were lovers.
In it, she had some sort of friendship with the original Black Canary, and then in this, this is her daughter.
Oh.
So she has that sort of back and forth.
So they've
with
just
the daughter,
gone
but
and mixed it all up.
It is. There's lots of timelines that don't really correspond to anything that you would have ever seen in comics or in animation.
I don't think I like that. I don't like it.
Yes.
What else you got for me?
Hey, WandaVision will resume filming in July.
Yep.
Disney Plus.
Have you seen the trailer? The
No,
animated trailer
no, I haven't.
for not WandaVision, but for What If?
Ooh, no.
So they're doing those as animated shorts, or like remember the old comic series What If?
Yep. Marvel's version of
Elseworlds, essentially, that DC used to do. So they're doing those as animated things. There's some pretty cool. Watch the trailer; it looks
cool.
pretty awesome. I'll be honest. I'm more excited about that coming to Disney Plus than anything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier is scheduled to be airing on Disney Plus first, and then WandaVision will come a couple months later.
Okay.
So they still haven't finished filming the entire season. So
John
we've
has
got
just
that.
asked, didn't she become the question? Yes, she did, Jono. In Renee Montoya, in the older DC books, I think I want to say pre-Rebirth. She might have even I know she did in pre New 52. This gets confusing with DC, doesn't it? Pre New 52, she became the question because Vic Sage died. I'm pretty sure, and she took on the role because he trained her during I think 52, the actual story 52. That was pre New 52. God, this is confusing. Trying to explain it to anyone else, you got to be in the know with DC Comics. I think in Rebirth and New 52, that may have still been the case. But I think with Rebirth, that changed. I think
They've wiped it out.
I think they wiped it out.
It's no
Don't
longer
quote
canon?
me on that though.
Who knows?
With DC, who the fuck knows at the moment?
The Witcher was shut down in March.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty. At home, my wife just went, "Oh no, he sung again."
We get some hits on this.
I actually walk out of the bathroom with a towel wrapped around me, just going, "Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty," and then my wife just into another room, like, "Oh, go away." So,
Well, shouldn't she?
and then Ginge comes out of the thing going with a towel wrapped around him, going,
Oh.
"Oh Valley of Plenty." Why you
Will
keep
you
using?
stop telling people this shit?
Why do you keep using my shower when you've got your own? Is beyond me. Oh, he's broken. He's broken.
All I can imagine is if we're doing a short film is see you in the shower and you're scrubbing and you go, "Oh, I can't reach my back," and then you just see me with a scrubbing brush
You know what?
behind you.
This shit writes itself. We're gonna do we haven't done a short film in a while. We
No.
probably need to do one.
Jono's said,
Yes.
"Your wife's just gone."
I knew she would. Hello, darling wife. It was in the New 52. It was in the 52 series. Yes, it was. Yeah, that's where Vic Sage was dying and trains Montoya up, kind of thing, and she assumes the mantle of the question. And it was actually not too bad, that whole sub story arc. I quite enjoyed it.
How did she do the face mask? Was it like Dick Tracy? Was it like a spray?
It's a gas.
Yeah.
I think, Jono, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you're a bit of a fan. It was a gas that he hit, and that it does a thing to his face, like covers.
Jono, is it a full on actual flesh? Like how did they breathe through it or see through it? Like these are the questions we need to know.
Inquiring minds need to know.
Like was it like the claw from Inspector Gadget?
The Craw! Speaking of those Inspector, if Craig is tuning in tonight, they're in the latest previews. The
What?
new, if you're in Australia, retailers can get hold of these. They're coming out through Icon Collectibles, which is the wholesale here in Australia for cool collectibles. And so shops like me order all our cool stuff through Icon. And the Inspector Gadget figurines are coming out through
wow.
them. So if you're an Inspector Gadget fan, put your order in at your local comic book shop. Pre-order it now so you don't miss out.
Last week I chucked a episode of Inspector Gadget in the comments. It was so
Gadget.
cool because it was one of the original series Inspector Gadget. So
Yep.
all the original voices. It was
You need to pop up a Banana Man in there. I fucking loved Banana Man. My wife hates Banana Man.
What?
She does. I don't know why. I was trying to play her the intro one day. She's like, no, I hate Banana Man. When Eric eats a banana. I used to love Banana Man. Do you remember you and I got excited because there was that...
The musical that they were doing in
No,
England.
but there was the thing that production company got the rights. They were going to do.
Yeah, so we're going to do
They even had a website that
Yes.
came up and they had a coming soon in whatever year it was.
BananaManTheMovie.com
And
or
you-
.co.uk, I think.
Yeah,
it might have
yeah,
been.
and you and I were like, "Fuck yeah!" and nothing.
We were standing around like two half-open pocket knives.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were going to say that.
It's never been explained. John's explaining to us about the questions face mask.
Yeah, it's never been explained, but it was drawn as a sprayed-on gas many times. That's what I thought. Yeah, it sprays it on, and it kind of covers the face. He obviously able to breathe through it and everything else. Like, yeah,
A bit like how Marvel explained their costumes. It's just all unstable molecules.
molecules.
You know?
Was that in Fantastic Four?
Yeah. Because we always had that question about how did Superman's mum make the costume if she made it out of the blanket? Did she have like a needle with like kryptonite at the end of it that was able to pierce through?
I thought she took a piece of metal off the ship and used that as a thing to sew it.
Really?
But she would have had to refine that down to a nice fine-tipped needle to be able to sew properly.
Exactly.
Otherwise, his cape and costume would have big friggin' loop
Exactly.
type. And I'm not a seamstress, okay? I'm not a seamstress.
However,
that would look fucking horrible if you just did big old... It looked like an escaped convict had quickly sewn it together out of wheat bags or something.
and who would trust a
I've come to
person-
save you, and you'd be sitting there looking at the motherfucker going, what is that? What is this? What is it?
You ain't saving shit.
You can't even dress properly. Fuck off.
Can you imagine now the Superman movie 1 where he captures Lois and the line is, I've got you, and she's like, you know, you've got me. Who's got you? It'd be way different.
You've got to do the voice right. Yeah, you got me. Who's got you?
But if he rocked up with a tear and and
Couple of threads loose, and
she's
it's
like,
really.
you ain't touching me with that.
Who sewed your costume, your mum? Yes, she did.
Did anyone else have
Martha.
Did anyone else have these questions when you were in high school, asking about all these different things?
Most kids are asking about the birds and the bees, and Ginger and I sitting there going, "How does Superman get his fucking costume?"
Yeah, how does Superman shave his beard?
Yeah.
Does he like use his laser eyes to reflect off a mirror?
How does Superman have sex? Does he have to have a kryptonite condom? And won't that kill him?
It
And
wouldn't
then,
be.
would that kill STIs? Inquiring minds need to know. Tell us what you think in the comments. Does Superman need a kryptonite condom? I can't believe I've actually put this thread out there.
Jono said, obviously Rorschach was the questions equivalent in Watchmen.
Well, originally, Alan Moore, I had a fucking blank. Alan Moore wanted to use the Charlton characters, which was the Question, Blue Beetle, Captain Adam was meant to be the...
And you can see that within Night Owl.
So, his pitch was using the Charlton characters because DC owned them but hadn't been doing anything. And then he got told, no, we've got plans for those characters, so now you've got to come up and create your own. So he did, and that's where we got Rorschach and Ozymandias and all that. So, yeah, he was pretty much a direct rip of the Question.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? I really enjoyed the Watchmen movie.
Yeah, same. We watched it last year, end of last year.
When I first saw it in cinemas, I had not read the graphic novel, so obviously I went in cold. But and Zack Snyder, he's just a very visual director. It was so cool seeing the comedian being thrown out of the window.
Yeah.
You know?
The only movie of his that I scratch my head at is Sucker Punch, which is visually a beautiful film.
It is,
But
yes.
the plot of that movie, you just kind of think, I don't quite get it.
It is very, multi-layered, and then you forget where you are.
But
in
a stunning looking
Yeah,
film,
yep.
like Sucker Punch. If you haven't watched it, do yourself a favour. You might actually understand it more than we do, because we're a couple of buffheads. I mean, look at us. You know?
Scott said, I think he had a kryptonite condom. He probably...
I think if he had a kryptonite condom, he'd probably stay flaccid. Well, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty...
These are the questions we want answered, folks.
Can we have a doctor chime in the comments? If anyone's, is there a doctor in the house?
But is kryptonite the kryptonite we're thinking about, where it's a rock, as opposed to the kryptonite gas out of Batman vs Superman?
I thought any kryptonite's bad kryptonite for him.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Well, I mean, is it? Could it be anything like, up the nose and away it goes? I'm just saying.
Who was the guy who used to advertise that?
Yeah.
It was a thing to help men's performance, and he used to say it was a spray with a nasal spray, and his thing was up the nose and away it goes. He's like, fucking, I'm not buying anything that guy is selling.
I'm just saying the Superman powers would disappear for a while if he did that. If he did that, that means that he'd be almost human for that period of time, right? So he wouldn't have his powers.
I don't know. Maybe. Imagine if he catches a super STI. What if he has to rock up to Dr. Midnight of the JSA and go, hey, Doc, got a problem. Can you look at something for me?
But then if
Dr. Midnight would be like, motherfucker, I'm blind. You know?
That's an inside joke. But then if he had to get a shot, he'd have to have a needle that had kryptonite in it.
Yeah. Which is going to make him sick. This is fucking
We have
confusing.
gone on such a tangent.
Anyway, other news. What do you got for me?
Hopefully you're enjoying this at home. Marvel have dropped the bomb that Daredevil Marvel will regain the rights to that character for television and movies.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time, wasn't it?
6 months' time. That's all they
Gee,
have
that
to
come
wait.
around quick. That from when the deal with Netflix
Yes.
ended, that come around pretty freaking quick. So they're going to pick up. Are they going to keep the same actor?
Well, they haven't really spoken about it. And what they're saying is they needed to wait 2 years since those shows had stopped airing.
Yeah.
So 6 months' time from now, they will have Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and The Punisher
All back.
all back. So that'll be early 2021.
You know what? I know there's a lot of people who love old mate that played Daredevil, but I'm saying fucking recast it. Bring Ben Affleck back as Daredevil. That's my petition. I will die on this hill.
Hey, the things that we say on this podcast tend to come true.
That's true. We are a little bit psychic.
Go back and listen to some of the podcasts. Someone dropped the hint that Ben Affleck should be Batman.
Years ago, and it happened. So, hello, Bronte, who's just tuned in.
Hey!
You've missed some of the roughest part of the show, Bronte. You are very fortunate. Go back and watch it later on when this episode ends.
Well, on the podcast, how we're talking about the stuff that we say on the podcast tends to come true.
Yep.
I said on the podcast jokingly, hey, I want to meet Kevin Smith.
And
That
did.
happened.
And you did.
So stuff we say on this podcast tends to come true. So maybe we should...
I want to win $1 million. I'm going to win $1 million.
Todd's going to win $1 million.
Yep.
What do I want?
Hopefully a shower of your own, because I'm sick of you using mine. Broke him again.
Coronavirus.
He's got the Rona.
Coronavirus.
News. What else you got?
How about a bit of gaming news?
Gaming.
Have you ever played The Sims?
No, I play SimCity. I don't play The Sims.
The Sims.
No,
So
that kind of thing would bore the fuck out
The
of me.
Sims are just characters that walk around a house and
And
well,
you've got to feed them, digitally feed them and everything. And so, because that's why I could never have had a Tamagotchi. Well, because I would have forgotten about that shit real quick.
Oh my God.
I would have killed how many Tamagotchis.
I've been reading online. People have been cleaning out their house through COVID and they found their own Tamagotchi.
Oh no! What about Furbies? I wonder if anyone's dug any Furbies out.
Oh, Furbies!
Something's on my leg.
There's something eating you.
There's something under the table.
The Sims released an upgrade patch this week.
Yes.
Problem is, they're finding out that the Sims are peeing fire.
So some disgruntled employee, they're like, all right, we're going to get this patch out. Everyone working overtime. And look, I'm sorry, John, but mate, you're going to be let go at the end of the week. So this is your final week, you know. And you can just imagine that bloke like John sitting there just going, fuck you, Sims are going to piss fire.
They've got screenshots of the Sims peeing and flames are licking the bowl. How do you fuck up this bad?
No, that's deliberate. It's got to be deliberate. You don't fuck that kind of thing up.
Or was it a deliberate thing to get them in the news? Because I didn't know that the Sims was still around.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, they've been around for quite a while. I still play on the odd occasion when boredom overcomes me. I still play SimCity on my phone.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes, and then I get bored with it real quick. And
What about do they still have the game? Was it
Farmville? I don't know,
on
man.
Facebook?
Do you know, I gave that up years ago. It got so bad I was actually spending real money buying farm credits or whatever it was to upgrade. I had the most kick-ass looking farm, and it cost me in real dollars probably about 100 Australian dollars.
Holy shit.
And then I realised I'm going to stop buying fake fucking shit. So
My harvester was the fucking shit.
it was the bomb, yo. Speaking of the bomb, yo, Jono said, Todd, you'd have Affleck play your wife if you could get away with it.
In real life,
Really?
not just on screen.
Danny, my beautiful wife who's listening, cover your ears. I probably would, Jono. No. Only someone else would get jealous.
Hey, don't be telling people this.
Laura says, yep, I'm one of those, Todd. Really enjoyed Charlie Cox's Daredevil. There you go. Well, yeah, look, I'd like Ben Affleck back. But anyway, Charlie Cox done a pretty good job. Daredevil was the one that I enjoyed the most in the Netflix. I never got into a lot of the later Netflix series.
Yep.
I just found them a little bit too long, too much filler. That's just me, though. Just going to put that out there.
Hey, we've been talking the last couple of weeks. Josh Gad has been getting actors back together for reunions.
Yes.
There was Back to the Future.
What else was there? There was another one that you said he got.
Goonies. Well, Sean Astin's come back and joined him again for the Lord of the Rings reunion.
Ooh, they get Frodo and Bilbo Baggins back.
They got freaking everyone back.
Oh,
Pretty
really?
much every person of the main cast came
Yeah.
back.
Did Peter Jackson pop in for a...
Peter Jackson, his writing offsider. So there was Andy Serkis, Liv Tyler.
Oh, Liv Tyler. I always had a thing for Liv Tyler.
Judge Dredd was there.
Which is
Your mate-
different to Ginge had a thing for Steve.
It was the mouth, okay? Look,
And I
he wears scarves. He's very flamboyant. Yeah, your mate, buddy, Carl Urban. You know,
Yeah.
Judge Dredd.
Yes.
He come back for it.
Yes.
Viggo Mortensen.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Who's the short little fucker that plays the dwarf? Obviously, he's not short in real life.
you're talking about Frodo.
No, who was one of the main dwarves?
Oh yeah, from the Indiana Jones movies.
John Rhys Davies?
John Rhys Davies. That's it.
John
yeah.
Rhys Davies.
He come back for it. Yeah.
He come back?
Yes.
He's not actually short, is he?
No.
No. You know, he fucking.
He's actually really tall.
We met a couple of the dwarves at Supernova.
We did.
And you know what? For the life of me, I can't remember their fucking names, eh?
Yeah, you met the dwarves. You didn't meet the hobbits
No.
because
They're big stars, the hobbits.
Yeah.
They don't come to Supernova
But
Australia.
remember, someone we were with called them hobbits, and they're like, whoa. No.
We're dwarves, thank you. It was more like this. We're dwarves, thank you.
Oh, we're going to jail.
Why?
Yeah. So this reunion actually, it almost went for an hour. So they were recreating scenes, playing behind the scenes footage. It was really great. So check it out on YouTube.
Did you watch it?
I watched it today. Yeah.
Did you? Oh, you were working.
Hang on. I'm going to incriminate myself. I was working while I had that on the background.
You did it before work. For the love of God, come up with a good excuse. Scott says, I thought the Netflix heroes were all really well casted. They just had some really terrible script moments. Yes, yep. Totally agree with you. And John Rhys Davies, he has also said that he would come back for a Sliders reboot if they did it right. Woot, woot.
Yes! Sliders all the way.
I see your woot, woot, sir, and give you a double thumbs up. Nipple rub.
Oh.
You right?
Oh. Sorry, Jerry O'Connell all the way.
Skip.
Remember he was in The Defenders, the real Defenders.
Yeah, that was
not
a good
that Marvel
show. That was a good show.
with Jim Belushi.
Skip to the end. No, I just want to show a couple of little bits of show and tell.
Yeah, show and tell.
Right? Now, listen. No, those I'm going to hold aside because we're going to talk about that. This isn't brand new out, but I just got more copies back in. I want to show this. Mm-hmm. Right? I am not the biggest Brian Michael Bendis fan. Right? This I'm trying to get my thumb to go the right way. Me and this good-looking, handsome fella here, we met Brian Michael Bendis and interviewed him a couple of years ago.
He was really cool and really down to earth.
I went into it going, I reckon this guy's going to be a pretentious wanker. Because I did not like his writing style. And he's one of them writers, he starts really strong. The book will come out and you go, fuck, this is good. And then he just let you down at the last issue. Just fucking all falls apart. And you go, what a waste of 6-issue story arc that was. So I was never a real big fan of Bendis, but in person.
In person.
Oh, what a lovely
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Oh, what a lovely man. He really was. We ended up going out to the Hard Rock Cafe that night and caught up
Yeah.
with him and his family. And he said he remembered us from interviewing him and blah, blah, blah. It was a great night.
Yeah.
And then we all woke up in this friggin' weird place on the Gold Coast Strip. And
There was a dead body next to us, and
Yeah.
Todd's like, not again!
I didn't have a hooker today. Anyway, skip to the end. Brian Michael Bendis has gone across to DC where he's writing Superman. I'll be honest, some of his Superman run
Yep.
is a bit for me. But he wrote in the Walmart Giants, the DC Giants that came out through Walmart in America. He wrote over a few issues a story, Batman story. And I went, oh. Now, his original start in comics was with Crime Comics, like Jinx and all that kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
And I thought, okay, well, he's written crime. That was back when he was actually really good. It was his early work at Marvel was pretty good, and then his later work, that's what I mean. He let me down and ripped off a cliff. So I thought, I'll give it a shot. Because they bought it out as single issues, collected the other bits, reprinted them as single issues in the comic book market, and then it's just come out as a graphic novel called Batman Universe. See that there? Look at that. Oh, I'm in the wrong way. See that there? Batman Universe. This has Batman tripping through different chunks of time.
Ooh.
He's after Vandal Savage, and there is this like an egg, right? It's
Is it a real egg?
Yeah. Well, every time they get close to it, it teams up with Green Lantern, Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Hal Jordan end up in the Wild West, and then for like half an issue, and then they meet Jonah Hex.
Oh, cool.
They come forward. They go to Thanagar. And so he's tripping out through time, and it's really, really friggin' good. I was blown away by it. I went, oh my god, Brian Michael Bendis has made me a fan again with this book. He needs to ditch the big superheroes and stick to crime. Like he probably should write more Batman because it's more his level, right?
Cool.
Street stuff. Nick Derrington is the artist on this, and the art style. I mean, I'll show you a little bit at the back there if you can see it. It's a nice, simple, slightly cartoony style, but it really works with this book, right? And there's the cover again for you. Batman Universe. Check it on out. That is really, really good. Ginge, the other one.
Just quickly, g'day to Gibbo watching at home.
Hey, Mr. Gibbs, how are you? This has just come out. This was a big hit last year. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, Batman: The Last Night on Earth, came out as 3 prestige format black label books.
Cool.
Now collected as a hardcover graphic novel. This is Snyder and Capullo's last Batman tale, as in this is the end of Batman's life. Batman wakes up in a post-apocalyptic kind of thing. The world's gone to shit, and the Joker's head is in a jar, and it still talks.
Whoa.
Right, so he's got to team up with the Joker's head. He ends up in the desert, and he's got to work out what happened, work his way back, and of course, it's a dystopian kind of future. It is actually really, really
Cool.
good. And if you're a fan of Greg Capullo's artwork, him and Snyder teamed up again is just phenomenal. Batman: Last Night on Earth. That is now out as a hardcover collected edition. Bada binga, bada bunga. The new issue of Previews, the comic shop catalogue, is available now. Obviously, there are digital links most comic shops are putting up now so you can look online. If you can't make it in your shop because of COVID to look through it, you can look at it online. But if you are able to make it in, it's there. Normally, there's a standalone DC catalogue and a standalone Marvel one.
Oh,
but because
tell us why.
Because DC are being a bunch of assholes, they had decided they're no longer doing a physical catalogue. There's not even a checklist in here. There is nothing DC in that book at all. So the divorce between Mummy and Daddy, Diamond and DC, is really starting to kick in. And Marvel decided, because they didn't actually offer that much this month, instead of making their own separate catalogue, Marvel is back inside the main
Whoa, hello.
book. Right, so Marvel's got its own section inside the big previews. This is what they ought to go back to. Everything should be listed in just one catalogue, not multiple little bits that have to go inside. And
then we're waiting for it might not get bloody printed correctly or something happens.
Just bring it out like this. There you go. Previews, it's in. Have a squiz at it in store.
Oh, God.
Now, you said you wanted to have a little discussion tonight. You're going to do show and tell first.
A little bit of show and tell of my own. We're talking about stuff to keep you interested during this whole COVID.
This right here.
This television show.
Sorry, Batman.
Briscoe County Jr.
The Adventures of...
Yes. and it's the Chin himself.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, check it out, people. I don't know if it's streaming. Can someone check it out and see if it is streaming? But such a great old 90s television show.
If you love Indiana Jones, you're going to love The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. This came out when we were in high school, and we started watching it. We talk about it as soon as we got to school the day after. Look at that beautiful box set. I thought Ginger was unfolding something else across the front of him. Look at that. Great cast, and a really fantastic show. And then it got shit canned, didn't it?
It did. And
we were heartbroken. We were in grade 12? 11 or 12? So we're talking 97, 98, something like that, wasn't it?
You know what?
Don't think it was earlier than that. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, we were even earlier.
Yes, but this is because in Australia we got television shows years later.
True.
1993, 1994.
Shit.
That's when it was made.
And then we didn't get it over here.
And then we didn't watch it until at least 6, 7. At least.
Yeah.
96, 97.
Because we're definitely in high school because that's when we became mates. And yeah, we used to talk about the adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
Scott says it's streaming on Amazon Prime. Only in the USA.
Boo. Here's Amazon Prime. Get your shit together and make it available worldwide.
Otherwise, you could get it through
nefarious means. Or you could just come and steal Ginger's box set.
Yeah. Visit Copson Video.
Which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to steal it. I bought back your Punisher tonight. We watched, the lovely wife and I watched the Thomas Jane Punisher through the week. I absolutely loved it. The wife was a bit meh on it. I still think Thomas Jane holds up really, really well as the Punisher. And John Travolta is the bad guy. Freaking awesome.
He plays a really, really good bad guy.
You know what we watched last night? The second Maleficent movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, suffered from sequelitis a little bit. I found myself on my phone, and the wife's like, "You bored?" I went, "Oh, just a little bit." You know, it wasn't great. It got better towards the end, but the start was a bit ho-hum. And Michelle Pfeiffer's the bad guy in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Jono has said, "If Chins Could Kill" is one of the best autobiographies you will ever read.
Yes, Bruce Campbell is fantastic, John. I totally agree with you on that.
I did see this week that that the other actors that were in the Ash television series, they're going to band together, try and get Bruce Campbell to come back for another series.
Nice. That would be fantastic. Now, you got any other news, or do you want to talk about what we were going to discuss earlier?
Yeah, let's have a little bit of we've got some comments that we better attend to.
Oh, here we go. Oh boy, you guys are of a particular mind tonight, aren't you? Maybe.
It's a full moon, so...
Yeah, we're not responsible for our actions. Jono said, also loved Bruce's appearance at the end of Darkman. The man with 1001 Faces of Fear is the last face the Darkman wears in the film. Still a great flick. I didn't know that, did you? And Scott said, Laura and I did the unthinkable this week. We braved the Captain Marvel film. It took us 3 days to finish it. Really? Did you do the whole stop, walk away for a bit, come back? That's like Catwoman for me. And I have to say, the script was truly great, but Brie Larson and her character's background somehow tanked the entire movie. Truly, the script on paper is great. The end product made me want to heave my guts up. I like the fact that it was set in the 90s. I like the nods to the 90s because we're 90s boys.
Yes.
But yeah, I just don't like Brie Larson as an actress. I find her so wooden.
To me, it was... if you ever watch some behind the scenes of Ghostbusters 1, Dan Aykroyd explained how the wands work, right?
Yeah.
He said it should be violent. It should be like trying to put smoke into a glass bottle with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt that movie was for me.
What do you mean?
Just bashing me around the head with a baseball bat, trying to conform to this little...
Yeah? Did we watch that together? Did you come with me to watch that?
In cinemas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Did you? Okay.
You weren't too fussed with it.
No, I wasn't. I really wasn't. I was a bit disappointed with it.
I just felt a little bit slapped around the head. I mean, I feel like
that could have just been me slapping you around the head.
I feel like that most days, but yeah.
Now, we want to talk about... You had a great idea. We were driving to get dinner tonight, and Ginger goes, I reckon we should say how we would fix DC Comics and Warner Brothers, like DC movies or whatever, if we were given the reins. If they were just like someone from on high at AT&T come down here and said, you two idiots at Geekspeak Australia, you're in charge of DC, so that means the DC movies and the comics.
HBO Max, everything.
settle down, Spanky, right? You're in charge. What would you do? And first things, Ginger and I would probably shit ourselves first and go,
What you gonna just run around the offices?
and then we'd probably sit there and go, what the fuck are we going to do?
Oh, God.
And then after about the second bottle of scotch, we would probably come up with some of the following ideas. And we want to know what you
Yeah, comment below and
would do. Now, it's simple, just real quick things.
All right. DC Comics. Let's just sit on that for a little while.
Yep, right. Sit on it, you mean you want me to start?
Yeah.
Right, sorry, I got distracted. I was looking at his man pretty. Anyway, DC Comics. First thing I would do is walk in and I would cut half the line of comics back. I would literally publish probably... You got to keep your flagship titles. So you'd have Action, but Action would be a Superman family book, right? So I would not have any standalone Supergirl, Superboy, Lois Lane,
Yes.
Jimmy fucking Olsen books. None of that. It would be Action is your Superman family. Detective is your Batman family. There'd be no standalone Nightwing, Batgirl, any of that. That's all in Detective. Then you'd have Superman, you'd have Batman. There would be a Wonder Woman comic, right? There would be a Flash, a Green Lantern comic, and then a JLA. And then I'd probably have a group book, something like Sensation Comics, which would be a rotating cast of all your favourite other characters, like Hawkman. So an artist or a writer could come along and say, I've got a 2-part Hawkman story. Good, it goes in Sensation Comics. Right, so cut the line down to a handful of titles, get the absolute best of the best, and go, right, you're on Batman for 12 months. You're on, or longer if you want. If it's really good and it sells well, you say to a creative team, that's your baby, that's your book, fucking go nuts. And you get the best of the best. That way the line's not getting watered down. And if you've got people go, but I'm a Nightwing fan. Well, you've got to buy Detective to read Nightwing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those books would sell so much better. The quality on those books could be so much better. You don't need to be publishing a ton of comics and all that kind of stuff. I would do away with a lot of the imprints that they have currently. I would stop doing... I would not do big 12-issue story, mini-series, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Ditch it. Too long, too many delays. And the one thing I would do, I'd call all my creative people, or nowadays you do a Zoom meeting, and I'd be like, if you are on a book and you have a deadline, and you do not meet deadline, you will not get work on an A-list character here again. I would do that threat and go, if I give you plenty of lead time and you tell me you're going to have that book done, and it's fucking late, apart from you losing a limb and couldn't have been able to physically draw or write the book, you're done on these. You will not get that shot again.
In the past, you and I have spoken about whether that they should have the entire book written and drawn before they present it to DC. Do you think that could be a way?
No, well, you couldn't. Not unless it was only like a 3-parter or something like that, because it's too much lead time, and no one's going to foot the bill themselves to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I would do with the comic side of it. I am just going to say this though, remember I keep saying each week at 4:30 on Friday afternoon American time, DC lobs a bomb and walks away. They did it again last week, where they said they are shit canning all the reprints, the $1 comics. They're getting rid of these beautiful DC giants, and they're also ditching the facsimile editions of classic books, right? Like Green Lantern #1 from the 60s, where they do a complete facsimile of it, right? At the moment, they're not saying whether that's going to be a permanent thing. They've just gone through everything we've pre-ordered for the next or the last 3 previews. They've gone to shit canned all that, and they won't tell us whether it's coming back at all. Comic shops like myself and a huge number around the world went, what are you doing? Those $1 reprints, which they cost $2.50 Australian.
Yep.
We sell tons of them. Parents buy them because they're cheap to get the kids to try comics. The kids come back. What other ones are there? And they are getting a taste of the whole DC universe by buying these cheap reprints, right? And it's from stuff right through from the friggin' 60s right through to the now, like getting reprinted. So it's a great tasting of the DC universe in there. Marvel do the same thing with their True Believers. Then you've got the DC Giants. These things are like mini friggin' trades. This is the latest Flash Giant, right? Look at the thickness on that, right? And I'm not talking about the thickness on these two here. I'm talking about the thickness on this book. These things, $4.99 US, so $10 Australian.
That's incredible.
They've got 4 or 5 stories in there. So the Flash one has a Blue Beetle story in there. It's got a couple of different Flash. It's got a Green Arrow story. There's a Wonder Woman one. It has a Sinestro Green Lantern story. It's got Amethyst. It's got Green Lantern in there, along with a couple of Wonder Woman tales, obviously, because it's a Wonder Woman giant. These things are phenomenal. DC's just gone, nah, not going to do that anymore. The facsimile editions, books that go for thousands of dollars if you want to buy the originals, you can pick up for $3.99 US, a reprint. So some guys go, I'll never own the actual legit copy of that, but I would like to have that on my wall because I love the cover. It was we've got one up on the wall over here. You can't see it here, but it's the reprint of the Detective comic issue where Robin debuted. You know, as a Batman collector, I want that on my wall. I'll never own the original because it's worth an absolute arm, but it's the cost of a house here in Australia, right? No, DC just went, no, we're going to scrap that for now. And I have no idea what is going on at that company. And if someone could find it, it's just like it's like the villains are in charge and running the place. It's like Lex Luthor's going, how can we fuck this up? And then Sinestro's like, I don't know, where's my yellow ring? Let's fuck things up even more. And Gorilla Grodd's just there going, scrap everything, you know, kind of. That's the worst Gorilla Grodd. Can you do Gorilla Grodd?
No. But Jodie's watching at home. G'day, how you doing? We've got some comments about some of the stuff we're talking about.
Yep.
Laura said those $1 comics are such a beautiful insight to all the ages.
Yes, they are. They're a wonderful jumping on point, and parents are happy to spend $5. There's 2 comics for the kids, right? And they walk out of here, the kids are happy, the parents are happy, the comic shop retailer's happy, because guess what? That's the future generation of readers right there. It's a cheap jumping on entry point for new readers. It's the classic stuff. You've got, DC, Marvel, they've all got years and years and years, decades worth of back catalogue that they own outright, that they can reprint for cheap. Bring it out. Bring reprints out of great story arcs. People are saying Hush. Things like Hush.
Yes.
Red Sun was a prestige format, but things like Hush and that should be serialised and re-released and do them as cheap reprints. And that way people will get into the books again, find a new audience out there. But, DC, up ya.
Laura said that her partner's pacing around the house, fuming and swearing. Oh my gosh, this is so awful.
I'm with you, Scott.
Hey.
That's, you know what? This is the sad part, because it's Friday night here, which means when I wake up in the morning and have my morning coffee, I'm going to be dealing with some other fallout that something stupid DC's done at 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, US time. They're going to lob out another freaking grenade.
Also said that something that really gets her about the graphic novels is when it goes to different authors. And it really affects the flow of the story.
See, back in the 90s, you would have a creative team, and they might switch artists. Like an artist might take 2 issues off and they get a fill-in artist. And that was just them having a break, because they might do freaking 8 issues in a row. But a lot of the story arcs back then were shorter. Then you might do a 3-part story arc where it was the Joker as the main villain. You come back, you'd have a one-shot. I'm just talking Batman because that was what I was into.
Yeah.
You'd have a one-shot story.
I used to love the
Two-Face.
one and done.
Yeah, the done one and done. Yep, or the 2-parters. They're fantastic. So you had guys who would write for years. Chuck Dixon, at one stage, was probably writing half of DC's books. He did Nightwing. He did Detective Comics, I think. He did Green Arrow. He'd done Birds of Prey. He was doing all these different books at the time, and these guys can write multiple scripts. And then he had his stable of artists. So Graham Nolan was the main artist on Detective Comics. You had I'm just trying to think. Norm Brayfogle at one stage, he was the monthly artist on Batman, and these guys built up a huge following. They had a great career, all from being on a book for such a long period. Modern comic creators don't want to do that. Oh no, I've got one story with Batman to tell. I've done it. It's 6 issues long. I'm out. There you go. Well, whoop-de-fucking-do. That could have been a mini series, or that could have been some. Why is that? Why are you on Batman? And then anyway, I'm not going to go into it. Right? We're trying to be positive. What would you do to fix DC Comics? I've told you what I'd do. You're going to fix DC movies. What would you do?
Well, I was just going to say, what would you do about this whole thing about DC really pushing towards digital comics?
It's pointless. It is absolutely... People read comic books because they love the feel of the comic book. They want to read it. They want to say to their partners or their mates, go, hey, mate, you got to check out this comic book.
Have a lend of it.
Have a lend of that. I am not going to give you my frigging iPad and go, no. I don't want...
And it's not like I can bring up my iPad and hit it against yours and you've given me
No. There's nothing... You can't do that kind of... Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Bumped me out of my program. Anyway, you can't do that with digital comics. You can't share them properly. It's not the same. Reading on a screen is not the same as actually holding the book. There's a certain collectability with comics. We are collectors. We buy these things, read them, love them file them away, get them back out to read, show them off and go, have you seen the cover art? This is one of my favourite artists is on this run.
This is mine.
That's what makes comic books comics. Right there. Now, tell me, what would you do to fix the DC movies?
Look, I was thinking about this today, and I was wondering about whether you would forget about cinema release movies at this moment.
Yeah.
I'm really liking the fact that HBO is really pushing for, let's do miniseries, let's do standalone movies.
Yep.
Where the budgets can be smaller, but the audiences can be larger.
I think people. How many people don't go to the cinema?
Yeah.
They wait now for streaming, or they wait for the. I mean, even before streaming becomes such a big thing, there was a ton of our mates who didn't go to the cinema very regularly. They would wait for the Blu-ray or DVD release. I'll get it. I'll watch it at home. So I love that idea. I think that's a fantastic idea. Ditch the theatrical release.
We were talking about, was it Trolls 2 was released just on...
Yeah. During the COVID thing, Universal did that, and it made more money in 3 weeks than the original Trolls film did at the cinema for two and a half months
for
a theatrical release. Yes, okay, people were stuck at home with the kids during the beginning of COVID. It was school holidays, so they were probably those numbers would be a bit inflated because people were like, oh, what else are we going to get the little ankle biters to do? We'll get them to watch a movie. So the numbers may be a bit inflated, but I still think it's probably a better distribution model.
And also money wise, you're getting $20 for a ticket in America.
Yep.
But you're getting $20 every month out of that person to watch that movie.
Well, not $20, whatever the streaming costs. Most of it is like $10 or more a month, maybe 15 at a max. But you're guaranteed
perpetual,
you're guaranteed income because those people are going to keep just. And most of us will I've said how many times, I'm a bit done with Netflix, I might unsubscribe from Netflix. I still haven't fucking unsubscribed from Netflix. I haven't signed up for Binge. I'm going to do that, we're away this weekend. Maybe next week I'll sign up for Binge. I'm an idiot who will pay those ongoing costs, And then look at my credit card statement and go, why am I still paying for that?
It's interesting at the moment where DC animated films, people are enjoying those movies more than they're enjoying the live action movies.
Yep. Well, I always said if I was in charge of DC, the guys who did the animation for like the Batman games, the Arkham games, right?
Yeah.
The animation there was fantastic. Like the design, imagine the merch you could have brought out, Kevin Conroy voicing. You don't need big name actors then. You just get great voice actors who can, and they'll build up a following of their own. You can release movies more often with those if you did that.
Exactly.
Put them in the cinemas if you wanted to. Imagine the merchandise around a cool animated Batman film like that. That's what we need to see more of. If I was in charge of DC, those guys who are the animators for those games, I'd be hiring them to do the animated movies.
The bloke that directed Deadpool was the bloke that come up with those animated sequences in the Dark Knight, the Arkham Asylum games.
Right, there you go.
So
that's what we would do. Another thing when you're saying about skipping the theatrical release. Yep, I would do it as mini-series, whatever else, and then when that's all done, then you release it if you can, maybe as a special cinema experience.
Yes.
Where it's a boutique thing, and maybe there's a filmed kind of introduction with the cast and crew, stuff like that. So the fans who go, I love that when it came out, a couple months down the track, we can watch it again on the big screen at the cinema, and it's going to have extra content or something. That's what we'll go and pay to see at the cinema.
And then you're having that collective experience with your friends as well.
Yeah.
It's an event rather than just being another theatrical movie.
You're a genius. I love it, Ginge.
A few comments from the audience.
Yes. You want me to read some of these? Scott said they would lose 2 customers right here. I would just start paying Todd to buy them digitally and print them for me. I love that loyalty, Scott. Thank you very much. I think that's a great idea, Wade. Laura and I have been enjoying superhero TV shows for years, even though they are still incredibly tacky. But they seem to be getting better. Stargirl is fantastic. I told you, how good was Stargirl? Really, really good. And Luke Wilson is even in it. Get a better budget, solid actors, cut out the hallway gossip, and you got a winner.
Yes.
Bada bing, bada boom. Yes. Love it. You nailed it, Scott.
And I'm loving the fact that HBO has gone, you know what? People want to see this series with Ben Affleck, with Henry Cavill. Let's just do our own HBO timeline for DC. We don't have to correspond with whatever DC or Warner Brothers are thinking about doing.
Make it its own thing. I just want to watch good heroes. It doesn't need to all tie together either.
Yeah,
I think too many people are focused on continuity nowadays.
Yep.
You know, that everything's got to have its place. It's all got a link. And
Because
right?
Marvel did it, we have to do it. Well, no, you don't.
No, and Marvel probably didn't do it quite as good as we think about it. If you look back at it, they had a pretty good plot line, like set things up, but it lost its way in some parts. That's just me.
Was it Iron Man 3?
Ugh.
Iron Man 3,
Yeah.
does, at the end of it, he goes, I'm not going to be Iron Man anymore. But then you get to, was it Avengers Endgame? Oh, no, it would have been one of the Civil Wars. Where he's like, yeah, I'm Iron Man again.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, we just don't talk about Iron Man 3.
No.
What else you got? Anything else, Jen?
Hey, you were telling me that you watched Space Force.
Yes.
Is it any good?
Binged the whole lot.
Oh,
Love
shit.
Space Force. Steve Carell's phenomenal. Him and John Malkovich, mate.
Yeah.
They make a great pairing. Look, the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Like, obviously, it's set in. It's meant to mirror the world we're kind of in at the moment, where someone like Donald Trump is president and he's a bit unhinged. So, Steve Carell thinks he's being made. He's just been made a 4-star general, and he thinks he's getting handed over to run the head of the Air Force, because his enemy is the head of the Air Force, like he's boss kind of thing that he doesn't get on with.
Yep.
So he's in there and he's waiting for the thing, and they go, and obviously our new 4-star general, you're now getting the POTUS wants a brand new force. It's going to be Space Force, and he kind of giggles and and he goes, and you're heading it up, and he's like, what?
Hey, what now?
So he has to kick it off, and the whole thing, because then it skips forward 12 months, and they're out somewhere in the Nevada desert or whatever, and POTUS, the president wants boots on the moon, right? So he wants people back. So they're trying to work out how to get there and everything. And this isn't ruining it for you, but so they're trying to work on to get the launches right, blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of have to bring things forward, and they have to dodgy things up, because suddenly they realise the Chinese are up there.
Oh.
Right? So they're like, fuck, we've got to get up there. So then they try and get up there, and then, of course, the Chinese are like, we've claimed this part as a scientific area, so we don't want you there. And they're like, no, that's where we're going to land. Is that we're telling you we don't want you here. So they're like, fuck it, we're going to do it anyway. And it starts this aggression between the Chinese and America on the moon, right, to this point where, the flag, the original flag is flying there, and there's obviously a video, like a camera still recording.
Yeah.
And so they're watching the feed, and next minute, the Chinese lunar buggy rocks up, stops, and I'm pretty sure you see like a little one of the drivers looks at the camera and then drives over the American flag, reverses back, drives, and they're like, the Yanks are losing their minds, and it flashes to the the group of the Joint Chiefs of Staff for all the forces, and they're all like, can we bomb them? Can we drop a bomb in space? What can we do? How dare they? That's and they're like, we've got to try and deal with it diplomatically a bit. And so because they're not allowed to have guns in space. So once they get to the American moon base, they're driving, they're like, right, and of course this goes right up to the president. They're like, we want retaliation. So they send them out with wrenches. So you've got this cool scene, and I cack myself. There's the US space buggy with 6 or 7 of these US astronauts, right? And they're all there with their wrenches. And as it's driving along, the Chinese space buggy passes them, and all the Chinese guys are waving, right? And so they get there, they trash the Chinese one. They get back, and they're driving back, and they pass the Chinese again. The Chinese guys are all waving again, and they get back to theirs, and theirs is fucking trashed, right? And it's just tit for tat retaliation with the Chinese in space. It is fucking hilarious. And all the cast that play the Joint Chiefs of Staff are phenomenal. Diedrich Bader, the guy who played Putty in The Tick.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. Jane Lynch is there. And then I can't think of the actor's name, but you will know him from According to Jim. He played Jim Belushi's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He's the head of the Coast Guard. And he is the laughing stock. So every time he rocks up to one of the Joint Chiefs meeting, they're like, oh, great, Coast Guard's here again. And he's like, because it comes up for the funding. And they're like, no one likes you, Coast Guard. You don't deserve to be here. You're not a real force. It is fucking hilarious. Look, 10 out of 10. Solid 10 out of 10. Great show. Very binge-worthy. Go, if you've got nothing on this weekend, go home, sit at home, watch Space Force on Netflix. I loved it.
Laura said she's 2 episodes in, pretty damn good. Laughed like the whole episode of episode 2.
Love it. I'm sorry, Laura. I'm not spoiling too much. You know, most of the stuff it pops up in trailers and stuff like that. It's the stuff that leads to it, and what they do from it is what makes the show.
Yeah, we'll stop talking. We'll stop talking about it now.
She's booting this section out. Jono said the original flag would be totally white by now. It probably would be, wouldn't it, Jono?
Well, there's no atmosphere to save it from the sun.
No, that's right. So there you go. That's my thing. Now listen, we're close to the end of the show. Ginge, do you know what day it is today?
Friday.
Yes, but there's something else special today.
No.
It's not my birthday, Ginge.
No. Is it my birthday?
It's not your birthday.
No, it's not my
Ginge.
birthday. Is it International Kick a Ginger Day?
Yes, it is. So line up. I'm going to kick you. Actually, a special shout out to my beautiful wife. It is International Donut Day, Ginge. Woohoo! Get your Homer Simpson on. So it is. My darling, beautiful wife went to the fantastic pie and pizza company here in Toowoomba and grabbed donuts for us this morning.
That's so cool.
Gourmet donuts. These are fantastic. I've cut some in half so that you can try a donut, Gingy.
Can I try the pink one?
You can go. I knew he'd go the pink
I'm
one.
comfortable in my sexuality to say I wanted to have the pink one.
So
Laura said donuts.
yeah. So happy International Donut Day, Geek Speakers.
Cheers.
Cheers, big. Oh, he's already shoved it in his big old mush. So is it good?
That is really, really good.
Not half bad.
Quickly, before we go, just one piece of news.
Yeah.
The laughing stock of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jar Jar Binks?
Jar Jar Binks is involved in this Star Wars news. Mm-hmm. They're doing a new television show. It's called Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge. Mm-hmm. Now, do you remember like the 90s kids obstacle course type television shows? Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing. You're getting 3 teams of 2 players. Mm-hmm. They're dressed up as though they're Jedi. Mm-hmm. And
They're really good.
you're really enjoying this donut.
Oh, I am.
They then have to, go through obstacle courses, puzzles, mind challenges. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. It is hosted by Ahmed Best, the bloke that played Jar Jar Binks.
Oh no. Oh no. That's left a sour taste in my mouth now. Really? Where's that on? Disney Plus?
It is on the Star Wars YouTube page. They're doing 10 episodes. But I can't believe that they brought back him.
Of all people.
Of all people. And he's not wearing the Jar Jar outfit.
Do you reckon they owe him money or something?
Maybe he's got pictures of someone doing something they shouldn't do.
Maybe they... Now, look, Scott's got a question.
Oh, yeah.
Question of the night. Speaking of needing continuity, something I noticed in Batman vs. Superman was that the Waynes died in 1981. I also noticed that Todd Phillips' Joker film is set in 1981, also making the Waynes' death that year. Do you think this was done intentionally to maybe write Joaquin Phoenix's Joker into the same universe? That's a good question. I don't know. I think that's, it could be just coincidence. I don't like the idea of the Joker being so much older than Bruce Wayne. I don't think you could run with that. I hope not, Scott. That's what I'm saying. Look, it could be. No in DC. Who fucking knows at the moment? But I hope not. You right?
You and I have got an alibi. 1981. We were just being born, so
81 vintage.
We didn't do it.
We didn't do it. It wasn't us.
Didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
Anyone else with any questions?
Anything? Well, I'm gonna another bite.
This is going to be thrilling television for people that are watching at home.
Nothing. No one else. Okay, folks.
Shit.
Well, that is really good.
Happy International Donut Day.
And thank you to my lovely wife, Danny, for grabbing these for us tonight. Very much appreciated.
Thank you very much, Danny.
We hope you have enjoyed the show. We promise not to eat on it again if I can help it. Stay geeky out there. I hope you all have a fantastic geeky weekend. Tell us next week what you want us to talk about. Tell us in the comments if there's something you want us to bring up in next week's show. We're going to watch more geeky stuff through the week, read some more books. And next week we'll try and find some other reason to eat donuts on the show, maybe. I'm your host, Todd Bailey. This is my co-host with the most.
Wake up on the pots and pans.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the show. See you next time. All right. Oh.